for the less intelligent. Therefore, they are designated herein as lazy, unfortunate, and short-lived. End of the purport. So, one more time, we are doing first canto, 16th chapter and 9th verse. The translation is, lazy human beings with paltry intelligence and a short duration of life pass the night sleeping and the day performing activities that are for naught. Om Agyanti Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanam Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpataruvacha Kripasindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhagwatam is the literary incarnation of Krishna for this Kali Yuga, and it comes in 12 cantos. In Sanskrit, they're called Dwadash Skandha. And we are discussing the first canto right now. Here is the 1111. And this first canto is known as Creation. And there are 19 chapters in the first canto. We have some slides here for every chapter and what it discusses. The first chapter is questions by the sages. It is also known as Muniyo ki Jigyasa. And this is about the meeting of Sut Goswami with Shaunakadi rishis in the place called Naimisharanya. So they asked the famous 6 questions, and that's where the Bhagwatam begins. And mainly the 6 questions are answered in the 2nd and 3rd chapter. The 2nd chapter, known as Divinity and Divine Service, answers the main questions of the 6 questions. The 6 questions are, what is the best for the welfare of the society? And they want to know about the Purushavatars, they want to know about the Leelatars, they want to know about why Krishna appears, and they want to know about what is the best thing to do for human life. So in the 2nd chapter, Sut Goswami starts to give the answers, and the answer to the first and the main question is bhakti. What should one be doing? Performing bhakti. So he gives the famous shloka there, Savayam Samparo Dharmam Yato Bhakti Radokshaje Ayetuki Apratihata Yayatma Suprasidati. So he gives the definition of bhakti. And Uh, the Shaunakadi Rishis also wanted to know about the incarnations of Krishna. So in the third chapter, Sud Goswami explains to them briefly about so many different incarnations of Krishna. This chapter is called Krishna is the source of all incarnations. You can see there is Krishna in between. You can see the Matsya, Kurma on one side, and you can see Varaha, Narsingha, and Vamana on the other side. That's all it could put together. Then in the fourth chapter, we are going towards Narada. So the fourth chapter talks about pastimes of Narada Muni, because we are going into the Bhagwatam. Bhagwatam, as you know, was spoken by Shukdev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj, but that conversation does not begin until the second canto. So this first canto is like an introduction to that, to the rest of the Bhagavatam. And it does answer the questions, and it introduces the main characters of the Bhagavatam. Of course, wherever there is Krishna, he is always the main character. So there are many chapters in the first canto on Krishna, upon Krishna, on Krishna's pastimes, his beauty, his moves, everything. And it is also trying to introduce two other characters, and they are Shukdev Goswami, who is going to speak the Bhagavatam from the second canto, and Parikshit Maharaj, who is going to be inquiring about his questions, because he has just been cursed to leave his body within 7 days. So he has some important questions he wants to discuss. So in order to introduce the main characters other than Krishna, who are Parikshit Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami, those characters are being introduced. So before introducing Shukdev Goswami, they're trying to introduce Maharshi Ved Vyas, and before introducing Maharshi Ved Vyas, they're trying to introduce Narad Muni, who is the spiritual father of Maharshi Ved Vyas. Of course, he has other father also known as Parashar Muni, who's quote unquote his father, and his mother is Satyavati. But then he has a spiritual father who is Narad Muni. So here in the fourth chapter, the appearance of Narad Muni is discussed, and then we get to the writing of the Bhagavatam, originally by Maharshi Ved Vyas, and fifth chapter talks about Narada's instruction on Srimad Bhagavatam for Maharshi Ved Vyas. So Ved Vyas and Narad Muni are discussing, because as we all know, Maharshi Ved Vyas is a literary incarnation of Krishna for this time, for the Kali Yuga, to write all the scriptures down, because in the Kali Yuga we are going to be Mandabuddhi. We're not going to be able to remember everything, so everything has to be written down. And for that reason, the Supreme Lord takes incarnation as Maharshi Ved Vyas to write all the scriptures. But of course, he is acting like a character spoke in front of his guru and expressing his mind to his guru, saying that I have compiled all the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, and everything else, but I'm not happy. So that's why the coming slow Sri Narada, chapter 4. Now we are on 5. Chapter 6 is the conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva. Yeah, your slides are not changing when I'm changing them. Chapter is Narada's instruction on Srimad Bhagwatam for Vyasadeva. That's chapter 5. In the chapter 5, Narada Muni instructs to Maharishi Vedvyas as to how and why he should be writing the Bhagavatam, because he has not taken the time to write about the essence of all Vedic literature, and the essence of all Vedic literature is, of course, bhakti. So the chapter 6 is conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva. And next chapter 7, son of Drona, punished, is going into the end part of the Mahabharata. Of course, Mahabharata goes along with the Bhagavatam, but the end of Mahabharata, where the battle of Kurukshetra is finished, Duryodhana has already died, and so has everybody else. And the son of Drona, Ashwatthama, is still left, and he goes and kills the 5 sons of the Pandavas just to please his master. And of course, his master is not pleased at killing children, and Krishna is not pleased, and Arjuna is not pleased, and son of Drona is punished by giving him a long life. Go live a long life of disrespect, discard. And the next chapter is prayers of Queen Kunti and Parikshit. So as I have mentioned, other than Krishna, there are 2 main characters of the Bhagavatam, one speaker and one hearer. And the speaker is Shukdev Goswami, and the person hearing is Parikshit Maharaj. So the first canto is an introduction that takes us to introduce these characters properly. And in order to introduce these characters properly, these characters are introduced from 2 generations above. So there is a battle of Kurukshetra, and at the end of the battle of Kurukshetra, Parikshit Maharaj is born. And the very, very special prayers of Queen Kunti, which were, in my opinion, were favorite topic of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada spoke about it a lot and wrote a whole different book upon it. He gave so many classes. That is prayers of Queen Kunti. The beautiful prayers, a beautiful mindset that devotees can learn from. Next chapter is passing away of Bhishma Dev in the presence of Lord Krishna. A very wonderful passing. Of course, we all have to leave these bodies and we all have to go, but we should know the art of leaving the body as well. So the Bhagavatam trains us on that in the first